Hi, my name is Brianna, and I'm a community educator for the Women's Center of Beaver County. Today we're going to take a look at our overall services. We're going to discuss how we've responded to the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as a spotlight on what services we provide for children. We're going to start by discussing what we're probably most known for. You may have heard us called the Women's Shelter of Beaver County, which isn't incorrect, but it's a bit of a misnomer simply because we have so many more services than just our shelter. Our shelter is a 30-day emergency shelter. We provide shelter to all victims of domestic violence and their children. In addition to meet community need, we also house homeless women and their children. While clients are in shelter, they're free to come and go as they please. We do have an evening curfew for safety reasons when we turn on the extra alarms. The building is staffed 24/7. Clients have access to 24/7 crisis support as well as case management. We work with our clients to get them into more stable and long-term housing. We help connect them with community agencies. And while they're there, we try to give them as close to a comfortable home environment as we can. While staying in shelter, our clients live and sleep and eat on a floor that is different than the one that we do business in. And so they have access to a living room, a dining room, a full kitchen. We stock the pantries, the fridge, and the freezer. And our clients always have access to fresh food that they can cook on their own to create their own meals and feed their own families. In addition, our clients are absolutely allowed to purchase food and bring it into the shelter and cook their own meals from things that they want that we might not have available. We have dorm-style living for the majority of our clients. Clients who have larger families or maybe older children, they may have access to one of our few private bedrooms where we have multiple beds in one room so that families can stay together. While clients are staying in our shelter, they also have access to all of the sort of daily care items that they might need, like toiletries, pajamas, socks, slippers, and things of that nature. Many clients staying in our shelter and folks from outside in the community who don't stay with us have access to counseling and therapy. At the Women's Center currently, we do have counselors and therapists for adults and children. Adult clients who choose to come to therapy with us have access to different modes of therapy, including EMDR. One of our therapists is actually a licensed yoga instructor. We do group therapy, which of course looks a little bit different now during the pandemic. In the spring and summertime, we have a therapy garden out in the back of our property that clients can have their typical talk therapy while they do something tactile and work in the garden, as well as we hold groups in our community garden. All of our therapy is completely free to the client. So regardless of whether or not a client has the ability to pay or has health insurance, everyone who needs therapy for domestic violence or sexual assault has access to it at the Women's Center of Beaver County. Some of our clients may feel that the best way to healing for them is to access justice and healing through the legal system, in which case we have legal or court advocates who assist inside the Beaver County Courthouse in all things including filling out PFAs, sitting in through criminal or civil trials, sitting and being a listening ear or a shoulder to cry on, as well as advocating for the client in court and with lawyers. Our legal advocates staff the PFA, or the Protection from Abuse office, in the Beaver County Courthouse. So if a client or a survivor of domestic violence or sexual assault comes to the courthouse searching a protection order, they will meet with somebody who works at the Women's Center of Beaver County. Clients who go through the court system who engage with our legal advocates through that protection order process are in no way obligated to continue using services with us. However, because we are the staff members who help them fill out a protection from abuse order, it works as a really nice link to get them into more services that they might need, including shelter, therapy, and also tangible goods, things like food boxes and other sort of donated items that they might need. Unfortunately, many of our clients who are survivors of domestic violence or sexual assault will have to seek medical treatment due to injuries that happened during a domestic violence or sexual assault incident. In that instance, we have a team of Women's Center staff, full-time staff, who are all trained crisis counselors. Many of them are therapists and counselors who can show up at a moment's notice to be able to offer that sort of immediate crisis support to a client in need in a medical setting, at the hospital, a doctor's office, in a school, in a regular office or place of work, as well as at a police department. If you call us in the middle of the night, we'll be able to be there. If you call us at 2 p.m. on Christmas, we'll be able to be there. So this is a 24-hour, 365 service that is available to anybody in the county who works with victims of domestic violence or works with vulnerable populations, members of our public and our community. And that service can be accessed from the 24/7 helpline. The Women's Center of Beaver County's 24/7 confidential helpline is available to anyone in Beaver County who needs a listening ear, has a question, wants to come in for services, needs access to a different community resource. This number is really a one and done resource for a lot of folks, and it's the most common option by which new clients access our services for the first time. So it is a 24/7 helpline, and it is confidential, meaning you do not have to give us your name if you call and ask a question or need assistance. You can call us for 15 minutes. We've had folks who stay on the phone a little longer than that, and we can either talk you through your situation and hope that you call us again should you need us in the future, or we can use that opportunity to connect and refer you to the services that you might need after the fact. Some of the services that we have available for children in our county are a lot of the same services that we have available for the adults. So we do have a children's therapist on site, as well as a children's counselor who works primarily in our shelter. We can offer different modes of therapy and counseling to those kids, as well as things like parent-child interaction family, where we're really working on mending and healing those parent-child relationships. Every summer, we host a week-long summer camp that we call Day Camp. So during the day, any of our clients who are children within the last year, or any of our adult clients' children from the last year, are able to come and spend a few days with us for a week in the summer. We go on a fun field trip. I think this last year it was to the Carnegie Science Center. We've gone to the zoo, and it's a nice mix of things that are therapeutic and healing and educational, as well as just some good summer fun. I think the kids last year, it was a beach theme, like a luau theme for our day camp, and I saw them making little yogurt parfaits that looked like beaches. So it was just a mess of like crushed Oreos and gummy worms and cute little parasols, paper parasols to stick in their cups. So in addition to being a place of therapy and healing, we understand that kids are kids, and we do have lots of activities available to make sure that kids who have lived in unsafe environments or have had traumas happen to them get to just experience joy in a setting that is safe and meant for them. Another service that is offered free of cost to our community from the Women's Center is what I'm doing now. So I am a community educator, which means we can come out to your office, your school, your church, your youth group, your knitting club, your wherever. If there are people willing to listen and learn, we're willing to come out and to do some training and education. So we do general community group education where we talk about what domestic violence and sexual assault are, the people who we serve, why these sorts of things happen to people in our community, as well as we can do more formal professional trainings for folks like yourself who are on SAP teams, where we talk about the nuts and bolts of the issues that we're getting into and how we can all best serve our clients. So again, that is always free of cost to the professionals that are partaking in it. And I'll have information down in the description of this video about how you can get in contact with us should that be something that you need. Finally, I'd like to discuss how the Women's Center of Beaver County has responded to the COVID-19 pandemic. Obviously, when you run a 30-day emergency shelter with dorm-style living, we had to take certain precautions, like offering a sort of hybrid shelter situation for some of our clients, meaning we took out about half of the beds that were in our shelter to allow for proper social distancing, and we were able to increase the frequency with which we could house shelter clients in local hotels. Now, those shelter clients in local hotels absolutely still had 24-hour access and daily check-ins with members of our staff, and they had all of the same case management services that a shelter client who was staying physically in our space would as well. For our clients accessing counseling and therapy, we switched to a telehealth format so that folks could access us by either a telephone call or they could do a Zoom situation or a video conference to speak with our therapists. We're happy to report that we have maintained a good number of clients during this time, and although social distancing and lockdown restrictions have made it difficult for survivors of violence who are still in the violent situation to access care. We've been able to get creative and safety plan and work with our clients to be able to continue to meet those needs, even though this is an unprecedented and difficult situation for us all to handle. Another COVID-19 restriction is, as you might be able to tell, I am sitting in my living room recording this video for you all. And so many of our staff members are working at home either full-time, or we're doing a hybrid schedule where staff members are rotating in and out of the offices so that we can make sure that folks have space and we can maintain proper social distancing and lower the exposure risk for our staff so that we can continue to do this work. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen about our services. If you have any questions or if you need resources that I discussed in this video, everything's going to be down in the description. I'm going to go ahead and put our helpline number up in the video. Remember, that is a 24/7 confidential helpline that you and your clients can access. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedules to listen, and I hope you all have a lovely day.